No, you are not loving them. People want to be loved. People want to be loved. But we remove our attention from them and focus now on the problems that we're encountering with them because we're not enjoying having them as they are. Now, let's get this straight. The problem is not that you're loving the wrong people. The problem is that you're seeing the problems and then you are now focusing on those problems and you think you're doing that because you love them. No, you are not loving them. People want to be loved. People want to be loved. But we remove our attention from them and focus now on the problems that we're encountering with them because we're not enjoying having them as they are. Make sense? We're focusing on the problems on the things that we're not enjoying from them. But we should love people just as they are, and that's all we need to do. And if you find that you cannot, free them. Allow them to express themselves in the way that they know how. How can I do that, you ask? How can I do that when those problems are what is making life hell for me? Well, you do that by stepping aside and letting them be. Let them just be who they are. Because when you're focusing on those problems, it means that you're not in a relationship with them. You're there working towards creating the person that you can love, the person that you can be happy with. So it's the potential of what this relationship can be that you are in a relationship with. You are in a relationship with their potential. And that person is who you're trying to get them to become. Because what happened here is that you saw them, you saw their outward person, you saw the shell of the person, and you decided that you're in love with this person, that you love this person. But the shell of the person is not who they are. Who they are is the characteristics that they exhibit. And so when you have mild conversations with them, not anything forceful, when you just communicate what you're happy with and what you're not happy with, and they're able to adjust, then we know that we're with the right person. But when it becomes something of a forceful thing where we start to fight back and forth, then we know that we're trying to turn them into something else. We're trying to turn them into that potential. So in our minds, we're thinking about the potential of what the relationship could be if only this person would be this person. Because haven't you heard it said sometimes? They describe somebody, the person does this, that. And you say in your mind, that's my girl, or that's my guy. They're describing exactly my guy. They said these nasty characteristics, and you say, yeah, that's my person, that's my partner. So that is the partner that you have. But you don't want that partner. You want the person that they could become. So you see that what you're in love with is something that isn't yet in existence. It's not right here. Because this person is the person that you're in a relationship with. So in the meantime, you often don't realize it, but you are now inadvertently focusing on your own needs. So no wonder they don't feel loved. And I could lie to you and tell you all the things that you would like to hear to justify that they're not behaving well, that they're not treating you well, that they're not a good person, they're not a kind person, or they're not reciprocating, but it makes no difference. I'm here to speak the truth to you. When you understand this, you will stop hurting yourself. This message has to get through to you. So you see, when you're spending all that time focusing on the things that they do that you're not happy with, that you're not happy about, guess what happens? They are miserable. And that's why they're not cooperating with you, because you're trying to get them to work against themselves.
And vice versa, as a matter of fact. That's also what they're doing with you. So you see how we work against ourselves.
So it's a chaotic thing, but the truth is that that is all that there really is to it. Just love them as they are. And you'll see that it will all begin to make sense. And that's how you will really see what is going on. And if it's something that won't still work as a relationship for you, then that's your answer. Because if you really love someone, remember, you will free them. You will let them be free. And then they can come back to you if you're meant to be. Nobody's going to resist what makes them comfortable. Think about it that way. How about you think of it this way? If what I'm asking you to do, if what you're asking them to do doesn't make them feel comfortable or happy or relaxed, then stop asking them to do it simply because it's what will make you feel comfortable. Of course, you're not going to like it, because who wants to be in something that they don't feel comfortable with, right? That's why you're trying to get them to make you feel comfortable. So what to do is, if you really love them, free them. Let them be who they are. They don't have to be in a relationship with you. And if that's making you uncomfortable, free them. Let them determine by themselves. Oh no, I don't want to be free of this person. I'd really rather be with this person. So give them the gift of freedom. And that is the true meaning of love. Unfortunately, if you're in a situation where you've already created your marriage based on this, do you see why I say that the foundations are important? Because you cannot continue doing this struggle. Otherwise, what you've done is that you've signed yourselves into a life of struggle. And that happens a lot because we don't take the time to really understand what's happening when we're creating these things. We see the friction, we see the trouble, and unfortunately, people encourage us to keep trying. People encourage us to, they'll turn around, they'll come around, or be patient. And the reason they do that is because they're thinking they're doing the right thing, but it's not the right thing. You're trying to make two pieces of a puzzle that don't fit at all to stick together. If they're doing it cooperatingly, that's a different thing. But where you have to now be forcing people, you're now making them unhappy. And it's clear to them that you don't love them. You think you do.
Again, I say to you, what you love is the outer shell. It is not the person, because the person that we can actually fall in love with is the characteristics, the personality, and the things that the person does. So is it the outer shell or the things that a person does that you're in love with? Because if you're in love with the things that a person does, then that is when you love them.
But if we will take our time before creating these relationships, before creating these marriages, in those days, they would have a lot of arranged marriages. We have more opportunity of spending time with each other now. So if I can spend time with you, then of course I should be able to find out from you by observing you and see if it's something that I can meet up with, and vice versa. And if we can't, then right there, we know that we're going to have issues. We need to stop pretending that the issues are right there, staring at us. They're right there, but we're not taking the time. And some people are taking the time. And those are the ones who have success. So unfortunately, the way it's looking is that a lot of us are rushing into this thing and we're going to be facing these problems. Now, what we're going to do with the problems, it's only the bold that can handle. But if we will take our time before creating these relationships, before creating these marriages, we'll do a much better job. I can imagine some people complaining silently now and thinking, what is she saying? What is she saying? But here is the thing, we need to admit our mistakes. The earlier that we admit our mistakes, the easier it will be for us to know how to make amends for the wrong things that we've done. We're all guilty of this. Don't think that I'm even better or that I've always been this way. Before I went for my psychology certification, I knew certain things, but after merging that with my knowledge and with my experiences, it all makes sense now. Tell me that as you're listening to this now, you aren't going to say this to your children or to younger ones around you. You're going to give them this warning. And that is enough to let you know that, yeah, you just didn't know better. That's why you fell into this mistake. But now that you know, you're going to tell other people around you. Slow down. You may be getting into this relationship with the wrong person. And as I always say, it's not about cutting people off. It's about dialing back, dialing down just a little bit, and doing a friendship. Do a friendship so that you can recalibrate things. And during that friendship, you will find out whether or not this should actually be a relationship of two partners. And this should make sense for you. If you're in the beginning stages of a relationship, take this to heart and enjoy a fruitful relationship.